And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. This is the story of one of the most celebrated highwaymen of the California Gold Rush. His real name was Charles E. Boles, but he's gone down in history as Black Bart the PO8. It is a late afternoon in the spring of 1875. The stage from Sonora to Milton is making its daily run.
It's only me, Charlie Boles. I was just playing a joke on you. I wanted to ride. Well, I'll be blessed. He didn't even recognize me. He thought I was a bona fide road agent with a real gun. More than $2,000 in treasure here. $2,000 in the space of 2 minutes. Well, that's more than I'd make in 2 years of teaching school. Something tells me I've been following the wrong profession. Time Professor Boles gave up teaching the 3 R's for a 4th R. Robbery.
How do you do?
Good day, madam. I was wondering if...
Yes?
Forgive me. To be confronted by so attractive a lady has left me momentarily speechless. I'm looking for a place to live. I wonder if you could accommodate me.
Won't you come in?
Yes. This will suit me admirably. Nice, quiet neighborhood, too.
Convenient to your business?
Well, as a matter of fact, my business is largely on the road.
Oh, you travel a great deal.
Yes, mining interests. I should have a card here somewhere. Well, anyway, the name is Charles E. Bolton.
You could supply references.
References?
It's merely a formality. A widow in my position has to be very particular.
Well, I don't drink intoxicants, if that's any recommendation. I'm neat in my habits and retire early. And besides, I should be more than happy to pay you 3 months' rent in advance.
Why, Mr. Bolton, how very generous of you.
I may consider myself in residence then?
Oh, charmingly you express yourself.
Express is my middle name.
I see you have a sense of humor, too.
Dear lady, if it weren't for my love of a practical joke, I'd never be where I am today.
He's a perfect gentleman, the loveliest manners. How old would you say? 45-ish. Oh, a very suitable age. Suitable? Now, Cleo Lufkin, don't you start getting any romantic notions.
Well, why not? He obviously has means.
You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. But the poor man's been here hardly long enough to unpack his valise. Well, you know the saying. Every Jill. Oh, Mr. Bolton. I hope you're finding everything comfortable.
Quite, dear lady. Now, if you can recommend a good restaurant in the neighborhood?
There's the Poodle Dog Cafe down on Montgomery Street. The food there is said to be excellent.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, to success.
Success.
Fill them up again, bartender.
You're just in time, stranger. Another drink, bartender.
Oh, no, thank you, sir. I just dropped in for a bite to eat. I'm an abstainer.
So am I, when I'm on a job. But tonight, the boss and I are celebrating.
Oh? And we have plenty to celebrate, because Big Jack Davis has been caught at last.
A stage robber?
Yep, he's been leading us a merry chase for 5 years.
But Wells Fargo gets them all, sooner or later.
Oh, you gentlemen are with Wells Fargo.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. James Hume, chief detective for the company.
Mr. John Thacker, my right bower.
My name is Bolton, sir.
Glad to know you.
The pleasure is mine.
Say, we're ready to eat, too. How about dining together, sir?
I'd be honored, sir. Will you be seated, gentlemen? Keep them covered, boys. Be ready with both barrels.
Here's a box.
Thank you, sir. Now your gun, too, if you please. Thank you. My men and I won't trouble your passengers. Kindly proceed.
Get it. Get it.
Well done, men.
Now I lay me down to sleep, to wait the coming morrow. Perhaps success, perhaps defeat, and everlasting sorrow. I've labored long and hard for bread, for honor and for riches. But on my corns too long you tread, you folks in fancy breeches. Let come what will, I'll take it on. My condition can't be worse. And if there's money in that box, it's money in my purse. Black Bart the PO8.
What does the PO8 mean? Is that his post office box number?
No, it's a pun. It stands for poet.
Poet?
Yes. P.O. Po8 et poet.
Quite a stretch of the imagination, if you ask me.
The stage driver said he had 4 men with him?
Yes, he counted their heads behind the boulder.
An outlaw with 4 men. A flair for poetry, a sense of humor. He shouldn't be too hard to catch.
You know, I wish I could wear checks, but I don't know. I just look better in plain things. Oh, Mr. Bolton. Did you have a good trip?
Very, thank you. But it's good to be home again.
Mercy, that valise looks heavy.
Yes. Mining samples.
Mining samples. Why, my first husband was an assayer. He taught me quite a lot about ore. I'd love to see them.
Well, I'd love to show them to you, but they're underneath all my soiled clothing. By the way, do you know a good laundry in the neighborhood?
Oh, yes, indeed. You just leave your wash out and I'll take it down tomorrow for you.
I dislike to trouble you.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Bolton.
You're very kind.
Good morning, Chang.
Good morning.
I have some wash here for one of my lodgers, Mr. Bolton. I want you to do a very good job on his linens.
Chang all the time do a good job.
I want this to be extra special. Mr. Bolton is a real gentleman.
Me wash them clean. Come in 1 week.
Thank you, Chang.
Let come what will, I'll take it on. My condition can't be worse. And if there's money in that box, it's money in my purse. Black Bart the PO8. Well, what do you think of that?
Not bad. He's a clever fellow.
No education. He spelled money wrong. M-U-N-N-Y.
What? Well, I'll be blessed. Well, he obviously was writing under stress.
Well, he'll be able to write at leisure once we get our hands on him.
For at least 2 years.
Well, how do you go about tracking down such a criminal?
First, we offer a reward.
Hmm?
This notice will be posted all over the state.
Oh. $600 reward. Wells Fargo and Company will pay for the arrest and conviction of Black Bart, the PO8.
A body isn't safe traveling anywhere anymore. I know. I really worry about Mr. Bolton being on the road so much.
By the way, how you making out with Mr. Bolton?
Why, Cleo Lufkin, whatever do you mean?
With Nona Webb, you know perfectly well what I mean.
This makes 4 holdups in as many months. And each time a bit of impotent poetry left behind in the express box.
What do you propose?
Raise the ante.
Again? It's already up to $5,000.
Up it to 8.
$12,000 reward.
But you'd think somebody'd be able to identify him.
You heard his latest poem? No. I'll start out tomorrow with another empty sack. From Wells Fargo, I'll borrow, but I'll never pay it back. Oh, good morning, Mr. Hume.
Oh, Mrs. Webb was just quoting.
I know. I have a complete collection of the poet's works.
Where does this bandit hide out, Mr. Hume? He must have some place.
The person that can answer that question, Mrs. Webb, will be $12,000 richer.
This is my way to get money and bread. You notice how much he emphasizes bread? When I've a chance, why should I refuse it? I'll not need either when I'm dead. And I only tax those who are able to lose it.
Meaning Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm. So blame me not for what I've done. I don't deserve your curses. And if for some cause I must be hung, let it be for my verses.
His meter is terrible.
But his timing is perfect.
We're gradually piecing together a description of the man.
Oh?
He's at medium height. He weighs about 175 pounds. He's very polite.
Doesn't drink any intoxicating liquors.
But he's a great coffee addict.
Well, he'd need some stimulant. Oh, waiter, will you please bring some more coffee?
Wells Fargo outsmarted you this time, Bart.
Yes, I know. The box is bolted onto the stage. So if you'll kindly unhitch your horses and lead them up the road a piece, I'll be able to work more expeditiously.
Like Bart.
Let me have a try. I think I nicked him.
You winged him all right. There's blood on this cuff.
Must have flipped it off when the bullet hit him.
Laundry mark. FX07.
Laundries in mining camps don't use marks like this. It must be a laundry here in San Francisco.
Now, I'll make the rounds of the city and report back to you.
FX07. Sure, I make this mark.
Oh, who's it belong to?
Ah, nice gentleman. Long-time chain customer.
What's his name?
Mr. Bolton.
Do you know where he lives?
You leave cuff here, I wash him clean.
No. I want to talk to him.
Him come in soon.
How soon?
Him just get back from trip. Say he bring laundry today.
Well, in that case, I'll wait.
So you do as I say. It's the only way you'll ever land him. Oh, here he comes now. I'll run along. Oh, Mr. Bolton.
Mrs. Webb?
There's something that I feel I must say to you.
Yes?
It's not easy. You've lived here for so long.
Very happily. Is there something wrong?
I don't quite know how to tell you.
Oh, you have to raise the rent. That's quite all right.
It's worse than that. I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to give up your room.
Leave? Why?
People are talking
About me?
about us.
Oh.
Of course, it's all untrue and perfectly silly, but a woman in my position can't afford to be compromised.
I understand.
And so, I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to move.
compromise. Well, this is all so sudden, Mrs. Webb. Give me a little time to think it over, won't you?
Of course.
Everything's going to be all right for both of us. Hello, Chang.
Hello, Mr. Bolton.
Can you have these finished for me by next Monday? I'm leaving on another business trip that night for the southern mines.
Chang have ready, Mr.
Good.
Bolton.
I take it you're a mining man, sir.
Well, I'm familiar with precious metals.
Well, I'm just back from Montana, where I ran across one of the most unusual deposits in all my experience.
Oh? What was it?
Well, I'm not sure. I brought back some samples. Would you be willing to take a look at them, sir?
I?
Well, my office is just up the street, and I'd really appreciate an expert opinion.
Why, certainly, sir.
You forget to tell about Cuff.
Cuff? What was that, Chang?
He was talking to me. Not too much starch in the cuffs, Chang. I like 'em soft.
Oh.
I hope you don't mind coming in the back door.
Oh, why, certainly not.
Gentlemen, this is Mr. C.E. Bolton.
Bolt? Well, Mr. Hume, what are you doing here?
This happens to be my office.
You said you wanted me to look at some samples.
I do. This, which you lost, I believe, on November 3rd over in Calaveras County. There is also a shotgun and some tools Mr. Hume has been keeping for you. A hammer and a chisel.
You mean you or Black Bart?
All you have to do is look at the laundry mark on his other cuff.
It's true, gentlemen.
You staged all those holdups?
Without once firing a shot. My gun was never loaded, you see.
Well, I'll be confounded.
Well, you certainly made fools of us, Mr. Bolton.
Boles is the name.
It doesn't matter. From now on, you'll have just a number.
Ah, a new pair of cuffs.
Compliments of Wells Fargo. We'll stop at your lodgings on our way to jail and let you pick up your things.
You're very considerate, sir.
Why, Mr. Bolton, you're packing.
Yes, I'm leaving, Mrs. Webb, for good.
Oh, no, you mustn't.
I have no choice, dear lady.
I didn't mean to drive you away. There's no hurry.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of staying another moment under the circumstances.
You made me feel perfectly terrible.
It isn't your fault, dear lady. It's just the ways of society.
I hope I'll see you again.
There'll always be visiting days. Goodbye, Winona.
Where?
Well, I don't know. I've only seen the headlines. It was discovered today that the celebrated poet bandit was a quiet, well-mannered ex-schoolteacher named Boles, who had been residing at a respectable rooming house under the name of Charles Bolton.
Charles Bolton.
His identity was lured through the laundry mark on the cuff, which... Winona!
And that was the end of Black Bart's career. He served 6 years in San Quentin prison, and soon afterward disappeared forever. As for Mrs. Webb, I understand she did eventually marry again. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a Wells Fargo man.